Built on a rocky crag, the mighty fortress of Stirling Castle dominates the surrounding countryside. The castle's long and turbulent history is linked with great figures from Scotland's past, such as Mary Queen of Scots, William Wallace, and Robert the Bruce. Inside the walls of Stirling Castle, each of the buildings have played their part in Scottish history. The Great Hall, with its magnificent hammer-beam roof, was by far the largest banqueting hall ever built in medieval Scotland. The castle's chapel has seen the baptism of princes and heard the prayers of kings. At the heart of the castle is one of the most remarkable Renaissance buildings in Britain. The palace at Stirling Castle was built around 1540 for King James V and his French queen, Mary of Guise. In its heyday, it was a place of grandeur and magnificence, designed to impress visitors and reflected the latest ideas in 16th century architecture. But the days of the Scottish royal court at Stirling were not to last. Less than a century after the completion of the palace, James V's grandson, James VI, inherited the English crown. He moved his court south to London, leaving his homeland and his palace at Stirling. Historic Scotland decided to return the palace to how it might have been in its heyday and to refurbish the splendid royal apartments. This was the beginning of an ambitious project involving craft workers from many countries.
This is a really exciting time for us at Stirling Castle as we're about to open the doors on a £12 million refurbishment project to take back the palace apartments in James V's palace to the way they may have looked in the 16th century. This is a bit of a different approach for us here at the castle because we're showing a set of apartments furnished and decorated in the way that we think they would have looked when Mary of Guise was in residence here with her daughter Mary Queen of Scots.
The first part of the project was to take the longest. No palace would be complete without magnificent tapestries. The original 16th century palace inventory recorded a set of unicorn tapestries, so a new set was woven, based on tapestries in the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. The walls of the empty apartments were once again decorated with designs from the Renaissance period. A French interior decorative artist, Michel Nadai, was commissioned to carry out the work. His work reflected the old alliance between Scotland and France, a relationship that flourished in the court of King James V and his French queen, Marie of Guise. A vital part of the decorative scheme for Stirling was to put back the Stirling heads, a set of carved oak roundels which once looked down on visitors to the king's inner hall. The Stirling heads depict classical gods, King James's own Stuart dynasty, and other European monarchs. The original heads were now too fragile to be put back onto the ceiling, so a new set were carved by master craftsman John Donaldson. After years of planning, it was finally time to get a glimpse of the splendid royal apartments as they once looked. Sadly, James V probably never got to see his palace finally completed. He died in 1542, soon after the birth of his daughter, Mary Queen of Scots.
When visitors first step into the palace apartments, it's a truly breathtaking experience. The visual impact is just like nothing else that they'll see in a similar castle in Scotland. The colours are very rich, the fabrics used are beautiful, so we really anticipate that this will give people something to talk about for a long time.
Seeing the rooms fully decorated like this in all their splendour, it just seems right that this, of course, is what their reality was. And we're just so used to seeing bare stone walls that really give us no idea of what the experience of living and using these spaces, the hustle and bustle of the household, the literally hundreds of servants that we know that were needed to maintain the king and the queen and the household in this place. And you really, you almost have to sort of pinch yourself to stop thinking that Mary of Guise is going to come bustling through that door herself any minute.
One of the additional features with this project is not only are we recreating the apartments as they would have looked, but we'll have a team of costumed characters here to tell the stories of the royal court. There'll be lots of different characters ranging from servant girls through to ambassadors, so each with a different take on court life.
I think one of the tremendously important aspects of the project is that how the research, which underpins every single thing that we've done here, one of the great benefits of the project has been for us to be able to understand so much more about this period of Scottish history. And these very strong international links, so key to Scotland at this time, which are illustrated within this building itself.
The palace at Stirling is witness to a time when Scotland looked to Europe for its inspiration and style, a time when Scotland played an important part in a golden age of art and culture. Refurbishing the royal apartments has given us a glimpse of this forgotten era with its colour, richness and magnificence. We can once again enter the world of Scotland's Renaissance kings and queens.